So CA is one of the field where entry is very easy, but exit is very hard.
Correct.
कुछ पेपर्स ऐसे होते हैं कि आप 3 घंटे में खत्म करो ना, वही बड़ी बात है. Traditional practicing CA industry after 10 years nobody will survive on that industry only. You can't do advertising, you can't do selling. If I am not a practicing CA, but if I am practicing CA na, I can't talk much on the podcast also. They find that I have tried to pitch or sales as a CA.
कि मेरी services पे
ऐसा नहीं मेरे पे inquiry आ सकती है. Okay, now nowadays people are working on tips only. Okay, they don't know about anything about the company. People ask me कि जय ऐसे shares लेने जिसकी value 100 के नीचे. Boring journey होनी चाहिए. अगर आपको बहुत exciting journey करनी है, you will never able to make money in the stock market or in any of the funds. I don't have single bank FD.
All in equity.
But never go on a tip basis.
ये stock ले लो पक्का बढ़ेगा. Instead, keep your money in the bank FD. Instead of tips, इससे अच्छे FD में डाल दो.
When you start your career na, first cover your risk side. Something happens to your health, something happens to your family. If you want to get a good return, stay invested for 7 years. The compounding return of 15% for 10 years, if you count, it's amazing. People should know. I think ये तो स्कूल में पढ़ाना चाहिए. It will be north of around more than 110 CR and maybe more than around 250 to 275 clients. Maybe 20 to 30,000 people you only want to advise. And I am never going to able to cater that kind of population.
Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another episode on my channel, and today is going to be a really interesting talk because we have Mr. Jay Patel today over here with us, and we are going to be discussing about finance, investment banking and overall finance industry. So how are you, Mr. Jay?
Yeah, all good.
Yes, thank you so much for taking out the time today. So a brief about Mr. Jay. So Mr. Jay is the partner at White Ocean Investments and he's also a CA, right? So it's going to be a really interesting conversation where we will be talking about the career in CA, how to manage personal finances and etc. So Jay bhai, I want to start by knowing more about your journey. I know you from quite a while, but exactly your journey, कि आपने start कैसे किया था, why did you choose CA, etc. So if you can give a glimpse.
So okay. When I was a kid, my dad's majority of group were CA. Okay. So I went with him to his friend's office and बचपन से ऐसा था कि नहीं, it was fascinating कि CA होना है. But when I came in 10th, 11th, 12th, okay, it was more on a real thing. I was good in maths, I was good in numbers, and I always wanted to do something in which I can add value to someone. And frankly, at that time, while choosing the commerce, CA was only the most viable option as a traditional field. And it was my passion also, and my parents also wanted me to become CA, and then ultimately I became CA.
So sort of a family background in the CA lines, you continued the journey.
My dad started CA, but because at that time he got the job in bank in 1970s. Okay. So he quit CA and he joined bank. At that time, it was a prestigious to get the job in bank. Correct. That time. But so he has always that feeling that if I am not the CA, then my son should be the CA.
Yeah. So you अपने जो पापा का एक अधूरा सपना था वो पूरा किया. That is an amazing story. But in CA को एक ऐसा कोर्स माना जाता है कि it is very tough. I've seen people के 5 attempt, 6 attempt, 10 attempt तक दे रहे तो भी नहीं clear हुआ. तो is it really tough? Prep कैसी होती है? If you can give a glimpse, आपकी preparation days कैसे थे?
So CA is one of the field where entry is very easy, but exit is very hard.
Correct.
2 things that makes it more tougher is pressure. Okay, CA exams are quite tough. It is one of the toughest exams, not only in India but all over the world also. It is considered in top 10 toughest exam. Okay. And the kind of questions, the kind of understanding you need to have, and it is more on the lengthier side. कुछ पेपर्स ऐसे होते हैं कि आप 3 घंटे में खत्म करो ना, वही बड़ी बात है. Okay. So I myself has missed some of the 25 to 30% of the paper during the exams. Okay. And second is the articleship. Okay. I genuinely believe that people should do genuine articleship. लोग क्या करते हैं एग्जाम के क्लियर करने के चक्कर में they don't do genuine articleship, but actually it is the most beneficial thing. क्योंकि आपको प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज होना चाहिए, तो इसलिए का मतलब है पेपर स्टैम्प्स ये होंगे तो यू कैन सर्वाइव इन दिस वर्ल्ड.
Correct. That is very true. The practical experience is always more valuable than the paper experience.
100%.
So if someone wants to start के आज चलो मुझे CA बनना है, like you know I passed my 12th with commerce, how should I start? What should my path be like?
Okay, see, first of all, now there are various options other than CA. It was not before 15 years,
Correct.
but now there is CFAs, there is CFPs. Now many of the outside Indian courses related to accounting is happening in India. But CA, if you want to do, then be it clear that you have to work very hard. And not only hard, you need a smart work also. Okay.
Correct.
And what you want to do in the CA. Okay. Now, traditional practicing CA industry, after 10 years, nobody will survive on that industry only.
Correct.
कि आप income tax audit कर लिया, ये कर लिया, you won't survive. You
Correct.
can, on that thing. Maybe you can survive, but you can't grow. So maybe you need to have value addition services like system design कर सकते हो. There is a concept of virtual CFO,
okay,
where SMEs don't need that accounting stuff to be done in their office. You can outsource that thing. There are many innovative things you can do as a CA. So you have to be clear कि आपको CA क्यों होना है. Otherwise, there are a lot of CAs in the industry. Every year बहुत पास होते हैं. Demand भी इतनी है, but there is always in every industry there is a difference between a demand and supply.
Correct.
Supply है, demand भी है, लेकिन when you go and find a CA, तो कोई अच्छा candidate मिलता नहीं है. So you have to be very clear what you want to do.
Correct. No, as you said कि अभी बहुत दूसरे भी career options आ गए in terms of finance only. अभी जैसे ACCA का भी बहुत ट्रेंड चल रहा है, राइट? तो कंसिडरिंग दिस अदर ऑप्शंस, अभी CA इज लाइक दैट लुक्रेटिव एनीमोर जो पहले था, अभी भी है इतना लुक्रेटिव?
I think it's more lucrative even now.
Okay.
And what it was before 5-10 years. Because now पहले क्या होता था कि बड़ी कंपनीज were recruiting CA. But now if you go in SMEs, okay, जो छोटे टाउन करते हैं, they also realize the importance of hiring the CA. Not maybe on a payroll, but on their outsourcing work also.
Yeah.
So CA is always going to be in demand. Okay. The problem with the CS is that CS think once I become a CA, I will have a desk job in the AC cabin.
Correct.
That is the mindset we need to change.
Yeah.
Young generation अभी जो भी हो रहा है अभी 25, 26 में जो CA हो रहा है, they need to change that mindset. कि once you become CA, it doesn't like that आपको वो AC cabin में आपको बैठ के
सांप बन गए, ऐसा नहीं है. Correct, that is very true. कभी मतलब you know even if you're a CA, आपको clients acquire करने पड़ेंगे. You need to be aware about sales as well somewhere. But
CA institute is very tough on this thing. You can't do advertising. You can't do selling. Even if I am not a practicing CA, but if I am practicing CA, maybe I can't talk much on the podcast also.
Okay.
So if my clip goes to the institute, and if they find that I have tried to pitch or sales as a CA, then
कि मेरे services पे ऐसा नहीं कर सकते.
इंक्वायरी आ सकती है.
Okay, so then I think it becomes really tough कि अगर मैं CA बन गया, if I can't advertise about like you know my services, then तो I think basically referral और word of mouth पे ही काम चलेगा.
You won't believe, as a practicing CA, you can't join some of the networking organization also.
Okay.
CAs बीच में 2-3 साल पहले they cracked down all the CAs who had joined the networking organization. So it's really tough for the CA to do active sales and active marketing.
This I like you know I did not know that as a CA there is an ethical code where you can't market.
It's one of the I think one of the most strictest code in India on a CA profession.
Yeah, now that I realize मैंने भी अभी तक कोई CA की ऐसा ऐड देखी नहीं है.
You won't never.
Correct. That's great. Something new I learned, right? But like you know, as you said कि आपने भी traditional practices में you are not that much very active, and I think you are more active towards investment banking side, right? In the wealth management side. So how did this idea come? Why not traditional and ऐसे अलग से क्यों करना था?
So even in the articleship, we were doing more on a management audit, internal audit, where we can add value to the client. I was not on the side that income tax file कर लिया, other things file कर लिया. Okay, my more interest on that side only. Even I started my career as a finance head in one of the most reputed hospital in Ahmedabad. So I took care of all the departments. I mean, I was looking after the billing, mediclaim, even purchase, all the things. Okay, so I was more on a value addition side, and secondly, I was good in numbers, I told you. So, my investment side, I was always had that passion. What is economy, what is stock market, how to read the balance sheet of the company, how the companies grow. So, accordingly, slowly, gradually, that thought evolved. And ultimately, I from the traditional CA, of course, I was not a practicing CA, but then you find very few persons in this finance investment industry that they are qualified chartered accountant, but now they are doing full-time work as a wealth manager.
Correct. That's great. Even like, I have some friends जो अभी CA pursue कर रहे हैं. So I think they are like, halfway से, I think it's called inter CA, right? So they also tell me कि यार traditional काम नहीं करना है. I'm more into the investment banking side. So I think like, getting the CA tag and then going into investment banking really helps.
It really helps. There are two things. See, if I go to the client, as a CA tag, they have one level trust with me. If he's a CA, he can be good at it. He can manage my money in a very different way. Okay. And second thing, if you are a true CA, okay, then you have that ability to analyze, to research, to know how the companies work, to know how the economic works, and then you can do valuation to your client.
करेक्ट. तो आप कोई भी कंपनी के ऐसे फंडामेंटल्स जब रीड करते हो, यू हैव अ बेटर एज मे बी और समवन हु इज अ लेमैन.
मे बी, या आई कैन से दैट.
करेक्ट.
नॉट ऑलवेज, but if you work in that area, then professional people have that edge in analyzing the company.
Correct. That's great. अभी जैसे आपने बोला like you are more into value addition side etc. तो आप कोई भी स्टॉक या कोई भी कंपनी जब क्लाइंट को रेकमेंड करते हो, ऑब्वियसली यू नीड टू हैव लाइक द करंट मार्केट ट्रेंड्स, न्यूज क्या चल रही है एक्सेट्रा. तो हाउ डू यू स्टे अपडेटेड विद एवरीथिंग? बिकॉज आई थिंक देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ सोर्सेज. कहीं से ये न्यूज आ रही है, कहीं से वो न्यूज आ रही है. लाइक एज अ सीए, लाइक व्हाट सोर्स डू यू ट्रस्ट?
So what I have learned from my experience is you have to filter the things.
Okay.
If you there are 10 things and if you filter कि ये नहीं है, no, तो लास्ट में 2 या 3 चीज बचेगी. You have to trust that thing. There are a lot of news in the market. There are a lot of tips coming. Okay, nowadays people are working on tips only. Okay, they don't know about anything about the company. People ask me कि जय ऐसे शेयर्स लेने जिसकी वैल्यू 100 के नीचे. I am surprised why you want to invest in such type of company. Correct. So they say कि उसका ग्रो होने का चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है. But that's the perception. Okay, so I make them understand that if it is 100 rupees share or 1000 rupees share, it's not about the price, it's about the value you are paying for the company. So don't look at the price, look at the value what you are paying for the company. So I read balance sheets, I hear that investors con call, management con call होते हैं. Okay, so there are broker reports आते हैं, and ultimately we also know what is going in the company, not exactly in the insider. But if the government focus, for example, government focusing on the manufacturing side nowadays, okay, so which are the company which tends to benefit in the next 5 to 10 years on the manufacturing side? So not always the pure fundamentals, but your common sense also works a lot in managing clients' money.
Correct. That's great. Now, like I am really amazed by the work you do at White Ocean Investments, right? So let's say someone wants to start an investment banking or investment advisory firm. Like how should they start? What should their steps?
Okay. So I will like to add with what made me start White Ocean.
Correct.
I took a break for 6 months when I changed my role from employment to an entrepreneurship journey. So I found out that there are various wealth counters in the good banks. Those who are managing the money of the clients where ticket size about 3, 4, 5 CR. उनकी टिकट साइज होती है तो बैंक में अच्छे वेल्थ काउंटर्स है एंड उनके अच्छे मैनेजर्स भी है. But majority of Indians who are having the portfolios between 25 lakhs to 2 या 3 करोड़ के बीच में है. उनके लिए कोई नहीं.
Okay.
They are at the mercy of some relatives or a normal retail level पे जो बैंक मैनेजर होते हैं ना, रिलेशन मैनेजर उस पे होते हैं. And so nothing against anyone, but वो गैप बहुत है इंडिया में.
Correct.
Middle class and upper middle class and rising middle class. They have good amount of money. They have good amount of money in the bank FD, but there is no one to cater them. And I found that gap, and majority of my clients are in that gap only.
Correct.
So I started like that if you want to start something on this side, because ultimately it's the client's hard-earned money. It's 1 lakh or 1 crore, 10 crore. It's a hard-earned money, and I don't have a right to do what I want just because of my sake. Okay, if I am advising, if I am giving them what they should do, and ultimately should be beneficial to them also and beneficial to me also.
Correct. That's great. कि आपने you have a purpose with why you started.
Exactly. That purpose is clear. Why is clear in my profession.
Correct. That's amazing. Right. So, like, you invest money for people, or even I think you interact with a lot of people who are into investing, right? So, like, you would have definitely understood their behavior. So, what are some common mistakes people make while, like, planning to invest or investing their money in any type of tool?
First of all thing, they always compare with their friends, families, cousin. Okay, I always tell them, see, you can't chase the return of each and everything. There are n number of companies, there are n number of funds. Okay, what you want to do with your money, that is more important. Okay, आपका time horizon. I ask 3-4 basic questions. First of all, आपका goal क्या है? What is your time horizon? If someone has time horizon of 3 years and someone has time horizon of 10 years, तो उनके लिए मेरी एडवाइस अलग होगी.
Okay.
अगर मुझे पता है 3 साल में ये चीज नहीं पॉसिबल है, लेकिन 10 साल में ये चीज पॉसिबल हो सकती है. तो दैट इज वन थिंग. रिस्क एपेटाइट इज द मेन थिंग. सम पीपल हैव मोर रिस्क एपेटाइट. कुछ लोग है बैंक एफडी में ही करते हैं, तो उनको मैं डायरेक्ट इक्विटी में कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकता. स्लोली ग्रेजुअली आई हैव टू कन्विंस देम कि आप इफ यू आर गेटिंग अ 6-7% ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इन बैंक एफडी, तो आई कैन pitch them the product which is riskier like direct equity. तो slowly gradually उनकी जर्नी शुरू होती है, and then after 2-3-4 years they start believing नहीं अच्छा है कि ये ऐसा भी हो सकता है. Without taking much risk you can still make the money. So common mistake है, मैंने वही देखा है कि लोग compare बहुत करते हैं. People are fascinated by the news coming in the Google or in the in the newspaper or something like WhatsApp forward or इंस्टा पे जो आता है उससे लोग बहुत फैसिनेट हो जाते हैं. बट आई ऑलवेज टेल माय क्लाइंट्स दैट इन इन्वेस्टिंग बोरिंग इज अट्रैक्टिव.
करेक्ट.
कीप योर स्टे इन्वेस्टेड, कीप योर मनी ग्रो. बोरिंग जर्नी होनी चाहिए. अगर आपको बहुत एक्साइटिंग जर्नी करनी है, यू विल नेवर एबल टू मेक मनी इन द स्टॉक मार्केट और इन एनी ऑफ द फंड्स.
दैट्स ग्रेट. I like truly believe even at a very young age. I see a lot of my friends के मैंने तो ये स्टॉक पे 1 महीने में इतना बना दिया, ये वो है, राइट. बट आई हैव इन्वेस्टेड एक्स अमाउंट ऑफ मनी एंड आई हैव फॉरगॉटन अबाउट इट. मैं भूल गया हूँ कि अभी चलो है, विल सी आफ्टर 5-10-15 years whatever, right? And I think that will definitely give a good return. That is what I believe from a lot of people that I've talked to, right? So let's see how that goes, right? So apart from that, like we also learn a lot about क्या जब आप invest कर रहे हो, diversification is very important. As they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like how do you see diversification on investing?
Okay. So diversification है, लोग diversification की definition बहुत important है. People tell that I want to invest in gold, real estate, I want to do PPF, I don't want to do NPS, I want to do mutual funds. Okay. See, if you are very young, if you're into 20s or 30s, I think you should be very aggressive in terms of investing.
In 20s or 30s?
In 20s and 30s. Slowly, gradually, when you grow above 40, then 50, then your risk appetite should be lowered down, and accordingly, you should switch your money, okay? But diversification is important, okay? But, for example, अगर आप पूरा आपका पोर्टफोलियो 2 ही कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करते हो, that is wrong.
Okay.
But आपका portfolio, if it is in good 20-25 companies or good 5-10 funds, then it is okay. So equity, as an equity में आप रहे हो, that is okay. 100% you can. I am a 100% equity guy.
Okay.
I don't have single bank FD. I don't have PPF account. I don't do anything.
All in equity.
All in equity.
Amazing.
But equity, I have diversification in equity. Okay. That I invest in such companies which are fundamentally good, and in funds which are fundamentally good funds of the good AMCs. Okay. So equity में within that equity level you can have diversification, but don't just put all your money in 1 or 2 companies or 1 or 2 funds. So that is the important definition of diversification.
Correct. Other people see it as when we talk about diversification, it's like कि अलग-अलग sector में आप डालो. अगर equity में डालो,
exactly. So you choose the sector, you choose the different companies, okay, but never go on a tip basis. Okay, I have seen people losing their money.
ये stock ले लो, पक्का बढ़ेगा. कितने WhatsApp आते हैं, कितने सोशल मीडिया पे ये सब एक्टिव्स है, but this is all the scam. Don't follow that thing. Instead, keep your money in the bank. Instead of tips, इससे अच्छे FD में डाल दो.
But don't do that thing.
Correct. So as you said, you are a completely equity guy, right? I see कुछ लोगों के only in equity they have like 100 stocks. कुछ लोगों का मैं देखता हूँ there is only 6 stocks. What are the ideal number of stocks you should be holding?
Ideal number of stocks by definition by rule book ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, लेकिन अगर आपके पास अच्छे stocks 10 से 15 अच्छे stocks हैं, okay, then it is fair enough to create the wealth, okay, and more than that you should review your portfolio. I'm not saying you don't look at the portfolio once in 6 months, once in a year. If you want to book profit also, I always say my clients, profit भी book करते रहो, ऐसा नहीं कि profit book नहीं करना है, okay, but don't keep money idle in the bank account, okay, stay invested through any of the means, okay. Agar you're not comfortable in equity, then invest in something better which is giving better than the bank FD return, okay, but do keep investing and stay invested, because currently we are, suppose I am telling we are very lucky nowadays, maybe last 2-3 years that market has supported like anything, okay. Every day it is going high and high, so we are very lucky, okay. Many people are still waiting that market will come down and they are not invested in the market, okay? We also don't know when it will come down, when it will go up. We have to keep investing in the market, okay. But बहुत ज्यादा portfolio हो, means 20-25-30 स्टॉक हो, वो भी बहुत काम का नहीं है, and maybe 2-3 stocks is also bad, it's very risky. Ideally 10 से 15 अच्छे स्टॉक आपके पास, it is fair enough
across different sectors,
different sectors, different industries. What is the new thing going on? You have to study that.
Correct. That's great. No, as you said, having a decent amount of stocks will help us build wealth, right? So apart from them, like, what are some effective strategies कि मुझे long term में wealth बनानी है, तो क्या मुझे करना चाहिए?
Long term में अगर wealth बनानी है ना, तो have the discipline that आपको monthly if you decide, okay, मेरी इतनी income है, I have to invest minimum 30-40% of my income regularly on month basis, whatever the asset class you choose, okay, but minimum you decide the percentage from your income, and definitely you have to invest that. If you follow that thing for at least 10-15 years from the starting of the career, definitely you will have a good wealth by the time once you process the investment journey of 15 years. I myself started first SIP when I was doing the articleship in the CA. हमें 2000 का स्टाइफन मिलता था, and I was started SIP of 500 rupees.
Okay.
From that
25%.
Yeah. And I just realized I just forgot कि SIP भी चल रही है. But I took my first car and I realized इसके अमाउंट से तो मेरा डाउन पेमेंट निकल जाएगा.
Okay, amazing.
So I started when I was doing articleship. I didn't realize the importance of long-term investing and the benefits of compounding. Okay. The problem here is people look at the absolute return. कि मेरा 100 रुपए का स्टॉक या 100 रुपए का फंड 200 हुआ, 2 दिन से डबल हो गया, पर कितने टाइम में डबल हुआ ना,
that matters a lot.
That is called the compounding. And nowadays people think that हर 2 साल में पैसा डबल होना चाहिए. That is also not
that possible. Is not realistic.
It is not possible only.
Yeah.
COVID जैसी situation you get once in a 10 or 15 years, that is altogether different thing. But the expectation of the normal investor, normal citizens are so high that sometimes it is very difficult for us to convince them कि sir, madam ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. If that is the case, then whole India will be doing that only.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But anything you can get about the 15% return, compounding basis for a long term, it's a very good return, and you can create a generation wealth from that.
So apart from that, like आपने जैसे बोला कि अभी लोगों की expectation है कि 100 का 200 हो जाता है, right? And I've heard a lot of people like let's go a bit off equity and let's maybe talk about some other thing. जैसे मैंने बोल रहा था, काफी लोग ऐसे बोलते कि जमीन में पैसा डाल दिया, अपना तो डबल हो गया, ट्रिपल हो गया. But I think a lot of people don't realize कि आपका कितने टाइम में हो रहा है, right?
Exactly.
I feel पहले land was something के people were blindly investing in, and stock or funds were not very much in trend. If people would have invested that much amount in stocks, maybe they would have got similar returns, right?
Yes, right. Exactly.
So, what do you think about land or other options?
In terms of real estate, in which city, particularly I'm talking about the India, I don't know much about the other countries, okay? But in the India, real estate of कौन सी city में हो ना, that is more important. Real estate in Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, Gurgaon, that has given a tremendous returns in terms of real estate. Of course, Gujarat Ahmedabad में अच्छा मिला है, लेकिन Gujarat Ahmedabad is more on a land investment. People are not getting so much returns by just investing in the residential or commercial asset. Okay, So I always tell people that why you want to invest in the real estate or why you want to invest in the stocks or equity anywhere. Just decide the time horizon. Because in the real estate side, you need to wait. Because like CA, exit is not easy in the real estate.
Yes, correct.
Right? You want to sell, but you need to find a buyer.
Yeah, I think that only takes like year, 2 years.
Of course, many people after COVID who invested in some of the real estate properties, they are not able to find the proper exit also. So I always compare my CA journey with the real estate. I'm not against the real estate, but you need to find a good property or good land and where you can get the exit. I am not a master of real estate. I have seen people have made a lot of money in real estate also. We talk about the Ahmedabad region. If you want to buy a land of 1 CR, maybe you have to go 30-40 kilometers away from the city. Then only you will get a decent amount of land. So that's how the real estate works.
Correct. And even in real estate, I think it's quite more risky. For example, government ने आज बोल दिया कि इधर से रेलवे लाइन जा रही है, आपका तो खत्म हो गया अगर प्लॉट आपका पड़ रहा है तो.
100%. So many people are facing that. Now government is now doing more TP जो बोलते हैं. So you can have a cut in your land and anything, and you can't do anything in that. Okay, compensation जो भी मिलता होगा, but that is not worth what you have invested for. So it's not a risky, but you have हर एक asset करने से कुछ तो risk है ही. Okay, कोविड जैसी सिचुएशन आई तो इक्विटी मार्केट वाज डाउन, बट रियल एस्टेट वाज वेरी अप. People realize that they want to live away from the city. So land prices increases like anything. So हर एक asset class में there is a risk element, but before that you should know what is the risk element. Okay, no asset class is risk free. People invest in bank FDs thinking that मेरी 2 crore की बैंक FD है, it is safe. According to the RBI rule, only 5 lakhs of your bank FD is secured by the government. Insurance.
Okay.
If something happens to that bank, तो आपको 5 लाख ही मिलेगा on a immediate basis. That you have to wait. See, it is not going to happen with the good banks. But people need to know that there is no ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है उसमें risk free है.
Every asset class has
something inherent risk in that.
Talking about risks, के अभी जैसे elections थे, right? And there are multiple global events happening. जैसे there are wars happening. Some countries are declaring some enemies to other states. So how does this, as a retail investor, how do I look at these events?
Personally, I am also a retail investor. I don't say I am a big money maker. Okay, I am also a retail investor like normal people.
Correct.
I always find such situation as an opportunity to invest in the market. If COVID doesn't happen, if Russia-Ukraine war didn't happen, if currently Israel-Iran war didn't happen, the all returns जो भी लोगों के 20-25% रिटर्न है, that will be around 12-15% return only.
Okay.
Because of that situation, the market came down. You again that opportunity to invest again, and market is again going to go up. But it is the opportunity retail investor have to understand. What happens here? People get fear कि ये तो war हो जाएगा, क्या होगा? Don't invest. And whatever the amount have invested, they didn't it. Okay, they don't realize this is the opportunity. अगर 100 rupees की चीज है, मुझे अगर अच्छी चीज है वो 95 मिल रही है, मुझे तो 100% लेनी चाहिए मुझे. Okay, वो अप ही जाने वाली है. लेकिन by just reading the newspaper or looking the news in the TV, they take their decision. और आपका टाइम होराइजन तो है ही नहीं. मैं वही बोलता हूँ कि आपको पैसा कब जरूरत है, तो 5 साल के बाद में को वॉर हो या ना हो, अभी क्यों बेचना है? See, every war is going to happen in this world. कल को इंडिया चाइना का कुछ भी आएगा. अभी रशिया यूक्रेन से लोग were so feared. I think no one knows what is happening at the ground level. वो हमसे 5-6 किलोमीटर दूर है वो, हमें कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. Of course, crude prices में होगा, commodity prices will get increase, inflation will go up. That is altogether different thing. पर इससे आपकी investment journey, आपका जो goal है, that you don't have to, that should not be shaken. You have to stick your goal.
Correct. Even I feel market में emotions play a very big role.
I read one book and उसमें बहुत अच्छा लिखा था कि strategy plays only 20% in your investing journey. 80% is your behavior and your psychology.
Correct.
And that is true. I myself have experienced that thing. See, once you are invested, we can't tell the companies or the fund managers, okay, you do this, okay? And also they don't have 100% say in the normal working of the company, okay? But what you can control is your behavior, your psychology behavior. If you learn that, you master that, 100% will make the money. But अपने यहाँ उल्टा है. 80% people focus on the news, on the strategy, and 20% only is the mindset.
Correct. So the ratio is
The
reversed.
ratio is reversed.
Correct.
I think most of the world, most of the human nature ही ऐसा है. Not only in investing thing, maybe in any of the thing. But if you control that thing, na, the 100% you will achieve your goal and you will have a good wealth. And currently I'm doing one course, technical course, okay, and that tells one fantastic thing. You create for the generation wealth. Okay, how you can pass on your wealth to the other generation also, that is more important. Okay, I have seen people who have good businesses, good amount of money, but ultimately financial literacy is very zero. If they want to invest, if they want to pull out the money, then they say पैसा तो है लेकिन निकल नहीं रहा है. So that financial literacy is needed to be developed in India.
Very true. Like आपने जैसे बोला कि काफी ऐसे इवेंट्स आते हैं कि 100 की चीज 95 में मिल रही है. So I read this, like buy when there is blood on the streets. Like, are you a firm believer of that?
Not always. Not always that be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. Okay. कौन सी चीज पे वो इम्पोर्टेंट करना है वो डिसीजन वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. If you have bought something at 100, it's going down and it is fundamentally something wrong in that company, in that fund or in that asset class, then you should move out. Okay.
Correct.
But price coming down for what reason? Okay, it is because of some global event or some war. It has nothing to do with that company or that fund. Then 100% you should reinvest or you should invest more when the prices are coming down.
Correct.
But if something is wrong in that company or in that fund or in that asset class, then you should move on.
Correct. So study always matters in anything.
And one more thing I would like to add. We always think कि 100 में लिया है, आज 120, 130 हुआ, तो अभी नहीं लेना है. But people like invest big investors like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala hai, R.K. Damani hai, DMart के owner है, they always keep averaging on the higher side also. If you have bought something at 100, it's 150 and it is good, then they have bought at 150 also. They have bought at 200 also. That as a retail investor we are not doing.
Yeah, definitely.
What we will think, वो 200 का एक साल पहले तो 2 साल पहले तो 100 में मिल रहा था, अभी इसको नहीं ले सकते. But you have to understand कि 200 वाला 100 में कभी नहीं आएगा. Like the gold price. Currently gold is at around maybe 70 something thousand, upwards of 70,000. If you think कि नहीं अभी तो 2 साल पहले 60,000 में मिल रहा था, then I will buy gold when it will come to 60,000. But that is not going to happen. So you should always keep adding whenever the prices go up also.
Definitely. Like अभी 200 का शायद से 400 हो जाएगा, तब तुम सोचेगे कि काश 200
में ले लिया तो अच्छा
होता. Very true, very true. Like if I just talk about index funds again, about the buying in dip. So I read this that indexes have 100% history of recovering from dip. Then I don't know why people don't buy it.
I don't know, it's a human psychology.
Yeah.
If what I always say now in a funny way, कि जब भी ये war situation होती है, कुछ भी अलग होता है global event, so for 2 days no news, no newspaper at a Indian household.
Okay.
So people won't get panic.
Yeah.
पता ही नहीं है ना आपको क्या हो रहा है. कोई पढ़ेगा नहीं, होम को नॉर्मल डे टू डे में अफेक्ट होने वाले नहीं है. It's on the global level, it's a geopolitical level, okay, and there are politics at different level, okay. It's not going to affect in our day to day life.
Correct, very
but
true.
Still people get panic in such situation and they will call me कि क्या लगता है. I also say what I know. अब रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हो रहा है, तो मुझे यहाँ बैठ के अंदर बैठ के मुझे क्या पता चलेगा क्या लग रहा है. Still people expect कि आपको सब पता होना चाहिए. And the downside of being a CA वो ये भी है. People call me and say जय इतने अमाउंट बैंक में डिपॉजिट करे तो चलेगा ना. अब CA है तो you can't expect CA to answer each and every question.
Very true.
But the CA के टैग में ये भी उसका पैकेज होता है.
Over expectation. They
will know they expect कि आपको हर एक बात पता होनी चाहिए because you are a CA.
So as a advisor, as you said कि ऐसे कोई situation आ गई तो people call you कि जय क्या लग रहा है. Some will even I think ask you कि बेच तो if you are managing. So how do you do you convince them? What do you do?
90% of my problem gets solved by the client communication. Okay. If I talk with them, frankly telling, I don't have to convince them. But the realistic conversation, realistic communication of करो client के साथ, they will get convinced automatically. They will understand what I am trying to say and what is the market situation. So I've been very lucky again in terms of my clients also. The majority of my clients, more than 90% of clients believe me, and they have been doing what I am telling to them. So ऐसा pressure कभी मुझ पे आता नहीं है. And after COVID, I told before also, our industry has been very lucky since last 3-4 years. It's going up and up. So I fear sometimes it will come down. At what time what I should communicate with my client. तब देख लेंगे.
Very true, very true. Like, as an advisor, abhi jaise if I talk about technology, right? AI is playing a lot of role in many different domains, right? So in terms of financial advisory or investment banking, has AI affected anything, like in positive, negative, anything?
Frankly telling, AI has not affected us like the other industry. Okay, but one of my employee who is pro in using AI, and recently he taught me how we can use the AI in reading the balance sheet.
Okay.
So what he did, he just copy pasted the whole investor con call. He put it in the chat GPT, and he told me what we should prompt. We should give the prompt. Okay. क्या एनालाइज करना चाहिए हमको, वो प्रॉम्प्ट दो, और व्हेन एआई विल गिव अस द ब्रीफ ऑफ दैट whole 50-page document.
Okay.
I was really amazed. I never thought of doing this in my day-to-day thing. Okay. So I always believe कि AI ने अभी हमारी इंडस्ट्री को अफेक्ट नहीं किया है, but AI if we use in a right way ना, that can 100% helpful to our industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Because every time it's not possible to read the 50 or 100-page document. Okay. But AI, it can give within 5 minutes. It can give a brief about that whole conversation of the management with the investors.
तो जो एक slack work होता है वो थोड़ा कम हो गया, तो time efficiency increases, I think.
But have you heard about the algo trading algorithm?
Yeah. I was coming to that.
Okay, so it is a part of the AI also, not all 100% AI. So people have started using that algo, but again they are saying that we will give you 2%, 5% monthly. Okay, so if I ask 5% monthly from that, it's a 60% return every year and year. Is it possible? They are saying yes. I have never seen the result on the long run. Maybe continuously for 3-6 months you can achieve that. Okay, but it's very difficult to achieve on year like that only. Still, it is a very premature thing in our industry. But I hope that people don't get just fascinated by such kind of algorithm trading and invest all their money in such things.
That the computer will tell you कि इधर buy करो, इधर sell करो, and you will do this.
It can happen.
Yeah.
But you can't give assurance that आपको 2 या 5% हर month आपको मिलता रहेगा, like बैंक FD. बैंक FD में पूरे साल का 60% मिलता है. ये लोग बोलते हैं कि हम लोग
monthly देंगे.
3 से 5% आपको monthly देंगे. I don't know how people are believing them, but people are doing investing like that.
Yeah. So, like, you are like, hardcore into investing from what I can understand. Have you ever thought trading, have you ever tried trading, or maybe like, do you do trade?
So I told now that I am doing one technical analysis course.
Okay.
Since last 1.5 years. Before I was not believer of a technical thing.
Yeah.
But after doing that course, I am also now firm believer of technical thing also.
Okay. So ऐसा क्या change आ गया?
उसमें what before that हम तो trading करते थे ना, so we were just doing on our guts. Okay. But that by doing that course, I came to know how technical analysis works. उसके लिए practice करनी पड़ती है. You have to do some professional course. You need some mentor who will teach you what to do and what not to do. Okay, and I in my last 1.5 of journey, me and my clients have make money by that thing also.
Okay,
so I'm not into 100% of the in, but slowly, gradually, I'm trying to learn new thing also on the technical side also.
But like, what is more preferable, fundamental or technical?
From the capital what you have, if you do trading by the technical analysis, whatever profit you want, invest that profit in the long term.
Correct.
For example, from 10 lakhs, I have earned 2 lakhs from that thing. Then 2 lakh निकाल के वो long term के लिए invest करना पड़ता है.
So mix of both.
Mix of both.
I think like a lot of people do this. You trade to build a capital and you use that capital to invest and wealth.
To build the wealth. Exactly.
Very true.
Rightly said.
Amazing. So both combos
can work. So see, in our industry we have to be very open. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. I always say that there is always a buyer and seller. Whatever you bought before 5 years, there was some seller. And after 5 years, when you will sell, there will always be a buyer.
Correct.
Okay, at any given price. Okay, so no one is right, no one is wrong. Okay, but what you want to do with that money, that is more important. So you can't say if I have sold something, I make profit. I can't boost myself. See, I make so much profit for me or for my clients. Everybody is making. Okay. The most important thing is that you are part of your client's financial journey. Okay, as a doctor,
Advisor.
as a lawyer, we are also part of that financial journey.
Very true. Right. So we'll come back to your personal experiences right now. Let's discuss about personal finances.
Okay.
So I'm very young right now, right? A lot of my friends are just starting out their careers. So we are trying to get our first jobs or first sources of income. So for someone who is just starting out their career, कि पहली job लगी है, अभी salary आ रही है 20,000 30,000 whatever, how should we plan our finances or investing?
There is called the risk management side. Okay, when you start your career na, first cover your risk side. Risk में क्या हो सकता है? Something happens to you, something happens to your health, or something happens to your family. Okay, so I always say when some young people start earning, that first cover the risk side. Risk में क्या क्या हो सकता है? Term plan. What I did with when I started my career. टर्म प्लान जो लोग इंडिया में बहुत कम भी लोग करते हैं, इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग. अच्छा टर्म प्लान होना चाहिए. गो विथ अ गुड हेल्थ पॉलिसी, गो विथ अ गुड एक्सीडेंट पॉलिसी, एंड देन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग. बिकॉज इफ यू डोंट कवर द रिस्क साइड, वॉट एवर इन्वेस्टेड इन 2 or 3 years, समथिंग माइनर थिंग हैपन ना, your 2 or 3 years of savings will go on a one shot. So I always say to my clients that first cover the risk side of your insurance होना चाहिए. I'm not talking about the traditional insurance. That which can be really useful to you and your family if something happens to you. So वो cover करो and then start investing. वो जो क्रिकेट में बोलते हैं ना कि पहले 2-3 ओवर आपको अच्छी तरह खेलने चाहिए. You have to read the atmosphere, pitch कैसी है, बॉलर कैसे है. तो पहले वो कर लो, सिक्कर कर लो अपने विकेट, एंड देन स्टार्ट हिटिंग.
फिर चौके छक्के मारो.
Then start hitting. That's like in investing only.
Correct. As you said के starting में plan your risks, right? So let's say there are multiple tools in the market. So what are different options for investment? One is equity, mutual. I'm pretty sure there are many options.
See, there are many options. Ultimately, how you participate in the equity. You can do direct equity, mutual funds, ULIP plans. You can go for real estate. You can go for gold funds also. If someone want to invest gold like a SIP, we have gold funds also, gold ETF also. Real estate, you need a big capital. Okay. If someone wants to invest 10 or 20,000 every month, then real estate is possible. You can do bonds, FDs. There are a lot of things. Okay, in the market, but there are very few things which will actually give a good return from the small amount also. If 5,000 rupees of paying FD or recurring FD every month won't give you so much wealth after 10 years. But the same thing you invested where you can get a good return, you can have that wealth. So options वैसे बहुत है, लेकिन अच्छी रिटर्न देना वैसे options बहुत कम है.
Let's talk about AIFs. So recently, Shivalik Group in Ahmedabad, they started their own AIF. Yes. So what exactly does AIF do? उसमें होता क्या है?
So AIFs उनका alternate investment funds. Okay, so if I want to invest in some real estate project, okay, if I want to invest in some land, if I want to invest in some startup, if I want to invest in some unlisted company, okay, so in the traditional way you can't do. It is not permitted by the government, by the regulator. Okay, so alternates का जन्म इसलिए हुआ है that those investors who want to participate in such kind of unconventional asset. Startup is not a conventional in India; it's still unconventional. So how you will invest? So they structure one fund, okay, and from that they will invest in such kind of startup company, and they will invest in such type of real estate projects. Okay, directly you can't invest. So for that you need to have AIF structure, and from that you can invest your client's money. Fund manager can invest the client's money for the different types of asset class. So that is called AIFs. It's new in India still, but it's growing at a very rapid pace.
How long has it been? India में कब से है?
India में है तो काफी सालों से, लेकिन I think in last 7 to 8 years it has picked up like anything. Because what happens in the wealth counter and HNIs, people are keep investing. Okay, आपका एक लेवल पे आपने इक्विटी कर लिया, म्यूचुअल फंड कर लिया, आपके पास अच्छे बॉन्ड डिबेंचर्स है. What next? So now people want to participate in the unlisted market. They want to invest in the companies which is pre-IPO. Then they can get a good exit and when the company gets listed. Yeah. Okay. They want to invest in the startups. Okay. But in such kind of investors, uske liye AIF is the best thing and it is growing at a very rapid pace.
So like as you said 7-8 साल हो गए. Like how's the returns if I talk about CAGR generally?
It's a very extreme side.
Okay.
Good AIs have given return maybe more than 25-30 CAGR also. Okay, and some AIF they have not given the returns also. Frankly, I'm not much aware about the return part. What I have studied. But उसमें भी the problem is you have to stay invested. उसमें भी lock in होता है, exit easy नहीं है in every AIF. Like in mutual funds or direct equity, you can exit at any given point of time. In that, because it is they invest in such kind of companies, such kind of projects that they need time to get exit. अगर आपको startup में invest किया है, you can't exit in 1 or 2 years. Maybe you have to stay invested for 4 to 5 years. So in such type of funds, your time horizon locking period is more. So it depends. Client की requirement क्या है, what is the client's horizon. But उसमें return is very extreme.
As you said, time period matters a lot. So if I talk about from a retail perspective, I'm a normal investor. What should be the ideal tenure to get some sensible return or absolute के कुछ दिख रहा है यार पैसा बना?
So there is one study that whichever the asset class कुछ भी हो, if you want to get a good return, then you have to stay invested for 7 years.
7 years.
7 years. अगर 7 साल आप कोई भी asset class में आप invested रहे हो, then there are high probability कि you will make a good return from that. अब equity हो, real estate हो, gold हो, कुछ भी हो. Okay, आप 7 साल तक की business cycle होती है हर एक चीज की. Okay, there is a certain I don't remember the name of the company, but they have studied the data for more than 150 years. Okay, and 7 years is the good time horizon. आपको अच्छा return मिलेगा. So I always tell my client that, of course, you can't expect that they will stay invested for 7 years. But if you want to make a good money, stay invested for 7 years.
Sort of a benchmark maybe.
Benchmarking. I follow that benchmarking.
Okay. That's great. Amazing. Now, abhi finance mein there are many terms. Just say if I am a layman, I don't know maybe CAGR क्या होता है, ARR क्या होता है, right? So what are these some terms? Even in balance sheet, there are a lot of terms जो काफी लोगों को पता नहीं चलती. So even if someone tries, so maybe they are not able to some common terms that people should know. If you can share.
So people should know what is the compounding return. What we discussed before. The compounding return of 15% for 10 years, if you count, it's amazing. Okay, the compounded return people should know. I think ये तो स्कूल में पढ़ाना चाहिए. What is compounding return? Okay. Second is inflation. Okay. People always think inflation क्या है? Like actual inflation is very high. The actual return कितना होना चाहिए आपका? So what is a GDP return? GDP growth क्या है? What is the inflation? What is the compounding growth? What is the absolute return? Okay. जैसे we discussed before. So this is the terms people should know. But लोगों की awareness ही नहीं है. जो whatever we see, we read in the news, we believe that. Okay, but these are the terms very important in day-to-day personal finances. So what is the minimum rate of interest you should have on your money? What is the bank loan interest you should be paying? Okay. If you're taking a loan, then what kind of interest you are paying, you should know that.
Now, Jay, let's come back to your experiences. It has been, I think, 5 to 6 years since you started.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, congratulations. Right. So, if I say in 6 years, right now, what would be your asset under management? How much funds are you managing?
So, combination of mutual funds, fixed income market, bond debentures, direct equity, it will be north of around more than 110 CR.
110 CR. That's amazing, right?
And maybe more than around 250 to 275 clients.
250 to 275 clients. Great. That's a very good number. Managing 100 CR. So
psychologically, it's a good number.
Yeah.
But when the AUM increases, you have that pressure also.
Okay.
To manage the money of 10 CR, to manage the money of 100 CR, and to manage the money for 500 CR, it's a pressure on us also. Because ultimately, it's a client's money. So, जैसे पैसा AUM grow होता है, हमारी responsibility ज़्यादा grow होती है.
Definitely.
You have to be more cautious in what we say, in what we advise.
That's great. So, how does your team look like? So, obviously, you don't alone manage 100 CR of funds, right? So, you would have built a team. So, how has the journey been? Maybe it started just with you and your brother-in-law. And over the years, how has the team evolved?
So currently, my team is like that. One is my back office guy. transaction guy who is almost, you can say, is more than 5 years. Okay. So my majority of clients now talk with him only.
Okay.
For the normal transactions. Second guy I told about, he's very interested in doing lot of good things. He's very good in technical. So he has recently joined, maybe in more than 1 year now, but he has been a very, very good value addition for me. Okay. What happens if I do, I say to him also, okay, don't say yes to what I say. I want someone to counter me. If I say let's invest in this company, then he should say that no sir, this is not the right thing. We should invest in this company. But there should be someone who can counter me, and that evolves my thought also. So one is he, okay. Another guy, he also is combination of all the things, transaction side, on the client combination side, okay. So we have good decent 3 to 4 member team, and slowly gradually I am looking more people who can understand our philosophy and who can join our firm.
That's great. As you said, like कोई एक yes man नहीं होना चाहिए. सर ने बोला ये करने का.
हाँ, सर ने, I always say that people should counter me. Okay, ये क्यों? And many times I have been proven wrong. Many times in last maybe 1 year, many times what he has said and what I was saying, I have been wrong. So that's a good thing. It gives me also that no, it's not always that we are always right in the market.
You know, like if we talk about general industry standard, if someone has an investment advisory firm, so if I talk about how much money can someone make starting investment management firm, so if you can give a range or an idea.
See, in this industry generally goes on the commission basis, what we get from the, okay. But because of the SEBI regulations, okay, what people are earning before 5 to 7 years, it has been cut down by 30 to 40%. Because of the SEBI regulations, okay. So it's more on a volume game now, okay. So and new people entering in the market, they can't just survive on this type of returns, on this type of income what they will get from the funds, okay. So you have to think how you can survive. Okay. Once you survive as an advisor for 5 years, then of course you will have trust from the people, and if you get the money. But what I heard from one of the more reputed this kind of advisor in Ahmedabad, that before that your break even was something between 2 to 3 between. But now if you have a good decent staff, good decent office, that break even has gone to maybe 4 to 5 years because of the capping of the SEBI. So and now many people are coming in this industry, but it is not the 100% the professional side. I have seen that they are doing something and they have some client, so now they are starting as an advisor also.
As a side में कर
लेते हैं. So I think that is wrong according to me, because if you're managing clients' money, then you have to 100%
Definitely.
Completely agree. If I don't do I don't know the insurance thing much. So I don't do the insurance directly. I have an associate who takes care of all the insurance side of my clients, because I am not good in that. I don't want to be good in that. I can't do each and everything. People need to realize that what your client to dede ka paisa aapko. He has that trust. But are you doing justification to your clients? That you need to understand. So maybe it's a growing industry also, but let's see how the regulation plays a very important role in our industry.
Very true. So like आपका कोई अभी ऐसे मेंटर है, like who you look up to, कि आप इससे इंस्पायर होते हो?
Recently, I have posted on LinkedIn about the mentor. Why mentor is important in your life.
Yeah.
And I always believe that.
Very true.
So when I was studying my teacher, when I was doing the articleship, whom I was doing the articleship for 3 years, my first boss, where I did my employment, my brother-in-law. So there are many mentors in my life. Okay. And not only mentors, I can talk with them for my personal growth also. And currently on this side, I talk with some of the senior guys in that industry who have been in that more than 20 years in the industry. So if I am stuck somewhere, that what we should do, how should communicate with my client, I call them and ask, okay, what should I do? So mentorship plays a very important role either in your professional journey, personal journey, spiritual journey. So I have good mentors in my life. I'm lucky enough.
That's great.
That for different types of talks, I have different types of mentors who can talk and they will guide me.
That's amazing. So, like Jaypa, you have had an amazing journey till now of 5 to 6 years and managing a AUM of 110 CR. What's next? What next can we expect for Y2?
See, frankly, I still think that I have not achieved what I wanted in last 6 years. Okay, because of my maybe I don't know what is holding me back, but there can be a lot of things which I can do. And my only purpose of starting this White Ocean, whatever I am doing, is I want people to have a decent return on their hard-earned money. I don't want, because India has a lot of money. Suppose mutual fund industry at suppose X amount, then bank FDs are at 4X amount. Okay. So I want people to understand that whatever you are doing, where you are investing, you should know. Because India is a society where government is not going to take care of your retirement planning. Retirement thing.
Very true, very true.
You have to take care of your retirement, you have to take care of your health insurance. So at least invest in such a way that your post-career, after 40s, 50, you should live a comfortable life. Okay. So there are a lot of things I can do, and there is a lot of opportunities in the market also. In terms of what I told earlier, that there is a huge gap in the middle class, in the rising middle class. And now if I see that in the CA also, when we started, 25,000-30,000 was our initial salary. Now it is something about 60,000 to 70,000. So people are earning money, just the right guidance they need, then how they can invest. So what next? Maybe you can say that I told them I'm doing the technical course.
Yeah.
I want to excel in that also. I'm not able to excel in that. So I want to excel in that also. And maybe not a figure I want to achieve always, but the plan is that I should reach the 500 CR.
That's very great. Like, definitely everyone should be ambitious.
Okay. But I want to reach the 500 CR. This is a psychological mark for me.
Yeah. Like, is there a timeline, something?
Maybe in next 5 to 6 years.
5x in
5 to 6 years, yeah. Because there are a lot of opportunities in the market.
Definitely, very.
And new people are coming in the market. And if I don't cater, then some another person will cater. So I'm not saying that we have a lot of opportunities in the market. And हम कितना कर सकते हैं वो important है.
Very true. So I think I had all the questions that I wanted the answers. If there is anything you feel like you have आपको कोई ऐसे अलग experience हुआ था, or maybe this thing should be discussed or highlighted.
Okay. I will tell you about that. Particularly about our industry, we don't have that professional courses, a skill for developing ourselves as an advisory. Maybe in developed market there is maybe one advisor for maybe 500 to 1,500 people in that population. They have one advisor. In India, that ratio is maybe 20 to 30,000 people. You only one advisor, and I am never going to be able to cater that kind of population. Maybe at the most you can cater to 500, 1,000. So I think we need some professional courses, and whosoever joins in this industry, there shall be some regulation. You have to pass these exams. There are a lot of exams. It's just a formality. Anybody can pass this exam. I think that regulators should think that there should be some stricter exam where you can really test the skill of that person before someone manages the client's money. Not just because I am CA, I'm telling this, but I really genuinely believe this. If in CA we are going through such tough exams, then only we have that reputation. I think same thing should be in the wealth management industry also.
Very true. So any closing remarks you would like to give?
No, frankly, it was my first podcast. Maybe I don't know how justification I have been able to done to your channel. Okay, it was my first time also, but I hope maybe at the later stage, maybe after 1 year again, we will sit back and जो भी Sensex 80,000 हुआ है, I think it will be 90,000. Then we will come back and I can say, okay, I have touched this AUM in next 1 year.
Yeah, definitely. I personally loved this conversation. बहुत कुछ मुझे जानने को मिला, and I'm definitely sure a lot of value addition has been done to whoever has watched this. Right. So as you said, we will definitely sit back again when you have reached your target of AUM, let's say 500 CR, right? So thank you so much, Jay Bhai, for joining me today. And as I said, I'd love to have you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.